You look tired, Ibsen.
Yes, yes.
McNamara has done a pretty good job, given the situation.
Fucking expensive to get into this place.
I see you're still alive. That right. God damn it. That's Violet, all right. Here, this is the bounty I put on her head. Think you can take down another one of these scumbags? Up to you. You killed another one. Well, well, well. Driving the Phi. Nothing to say, you son of a bitch? No. Lost a lot of good men to this psychopath. I guess we can send first recon down to Camp Forlorn Hope. That's 2 psychopaths dead. If that's true... Yeah, that's Cook. Ugh, did he always smell like this, even before he was dead? And the fiends let... Well, this is payback for at least one of my troopers. You've been one hell of a stroke of good luck, you know that? Those 3 scumbags probably killed 20 NCR troopers. You bring them down alone. Wish I had a few grunts as good as you. Damn good. Perimeter's been quiet since you left. The fiends are running scared. I doubt they'll give us any more trouble.
A little busy at the moment. You mean give you work? No, that...
We spoke earlier, didn't we? Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room. Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be... Best of luck.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business. I shouldn't say anything. I know that. But you're not the first person. There were a lot of mercs, one after another. Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect. And he didn't mention her? Not... No, wait. I don't mean to see any harm come to Dr. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich. Not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc. But I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there. No idea if she's alive. I had a good feeling about you. Keeley's brilliant, an absolute genius. She plays at being mean, but it's all a front. When you've lived as long as she has, you get defensive around new people. Who wants to make a friend when you know you'll outlive them? I couldn't get her to say, but she talked about the war. So I'm guessing pretty old. 200 Like a Brahmin and a Deathclaw, though I'm not sure which would be which. Bad analogy, maybe. Keeley hates Hildern. She says he's more politician than... And Hildern hates Keeley because... Well, because every time they meet, she makes him look like an... The director? He's... very... He's not what you'd call warm. Unless he wants something from you. And even then, it's... Most of the time, I focus on the science and try to forget him. He doesn't get mixed up in any actual work, though he tells... He sure does. Everyone knows it. I've just got to endure this. But abandoning Keeley, he crossed a line. Taking credit for other people's... If Hildren tries to recruit any more mercs, I'm gonna warn them. What can he do to me? I'm the only one who can run... My father used to say good things about them, but that was years ago. Back when they teach... Nowadays, they've changed. They're doing what they can to discredit... Dr. Hildren trained with them years ago. Not me, though. It's foul to tell the truth. Most people try to get what they can from the outside. Contreras is a genius. He can find almost anything you'd want. Head researcher. Mostly on the dam project, but I help out on other...
Yes? I never said you were. You've been speaking to Williams. Not at all. Informed speculation on my part. Williams is very good at her job, so it remains... No, you aren't the first person I've sent to the vault. I'm sorry that I neglected to tell you, but I... All right. I'll admit that it's been difficult to find anyone willing to enter the vault. And I'd rather get the data sooner than later. You have a deal. I'll double your reward if you... Now, I know your time is valuable, so I won't waste any more of it. Yes?
If you can find Keeley and...
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a new... Howdy. Got a good memory for faces, landmarks and such, too. I call her the Long Carabine. Been shooting with her so long, couldn't bring my... The other snipers used bolt action, but Gorbets reckoned it didn't matter none if I was different. Used to be a ranger. One of the first they sent out east back before we took the dam. We took the lay of the land, checked out the locals, and kept our... That was back in '73, if I recall. Vegas always chewed men up. Well, that wasn't really a matter of choice. Got myself caught by... They had themselves some fun with me. Mangled my hands and... Wasn't much good with the pistol after that. Wasn't gonna be trekking across the... Caesar's boys figured I wasn't going anywhere after what they'd done to me. I crawled out of there on my elbows and knees. Must have looked a sight. Guess I had a mind to drown rather than give Caesar's boys a... But a couple of rangers happened to be watching from across the river. They jumped on in and pulled... Going on 6 months now, but I reckon we'll be moving out soon enough. Can't talk... Till then, we'll man the towers and keep an eye on the fiend. Whole thing...
We won't go quietly.
Take your sweet time. I suppose the NCR... Oh, she's such a dear. Not like that pompous little pedant she works for. But that's neither here nor there. These plants have gotten completely out of control. I've got a plan to deal with them, but I'll need... Good. Meet me on the second level, and I'll explain what needs to be done.
Fight the ones we care about the most.
This Vault-Tec machinery is so fragile. I had to jury-rig this elevator a few days, and it's on the fritz again already. Ah, that's got it. See you upstairs. Good, you're here. Ready to begin? Time is of the essence, so I'll be brief. This place is filled with spores that are toxic to humans, and we need to get rid of them. I've pumped the vault full of a highly flammable gas that, once ignited, should destroy the vast majority of spores. There's one problem, though. The gas becomes semi-inert on exposure to oxygen, meaning the gas will have to be ignited close to where it's being introduced. I need you to find the vents where the gas is being pumped and ignite it. Oh, and survive the resulting blast. Good. Return to me when it's done.
Should have brought something to read. Aw, just when...
Ah, good. You survived. I was beginning to think you hadn't. You'll be pleased to know that now all that's left is to ensure that none of this ever happens again. The research that led to these abominations must be erased. I've managed to create a connection to the Vault's backup system from here. I just have to remotely delete all the files, and we're done here. No, it shouldn't take all that long. Just a few more moments, and that's strange. The system says that the files were accessed recently and copied to an external source. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Yes, that sounds like something he'd do. Well, there's nothing for it then. Those files need to be erased. Hold out your arm and I'll have it done in a flash. How do you figure that? I suppose the data here could serve as a warning to other scientists. Tell them what paths of research not to follow. All right. You convinced me. Take the files back to that buffoon. You make a good point. But I still honestly hope you know what you're doing. I've unlocked the door, so you're free to run along now. Although it pains me to say it, I wouldn't have made it out of here without your help. If you're heading back toward McCarran, tell Dr. Williams that she has my thanks as well.
Good to see a friend of our government.
What on earth is that creature?
Nice job out there.
Keeley just called in. You should have heard the director. But wait up. Now look here. She wouldn't let him finish a sentence. Just reamed him out for sending all those people to the vault. Thanks for keeping her safe. Here's the caps I promised. I knew I had a good feeling.
I received a pleasant call from Dr. Keeley. It seems we have you to thank for Wonderful. Excellent work. Let me see it. It'll take... I don't see how that's relevant. The dangers of the vault were your business, not mine. The only question is... I think Williams... Yes, here it is. The data is mostly... Here then, as promised, an agreeable sum payable... Your concerns are perfectly understandable, but I assure you, they're entirely misplaced. We would never use technology that wasn't fully tested. We aren't some motley band of vault alchemists. We're with the government, for goodness sake. Yes?
Barber's doing the best with what he's got. Man, I could go for a nice... Contreras is holding out on me. I know he's got more to sell.
Contreras is holding out on me. I know he's got more to sell.
Uh-oh.
Checking in with the base, huh?
Did the Colonel send you? I know. I've been crying. My husband, he's a ranger, and he got... Brass won't say it to me straight, but they mean to leave Esteban out there. Colonel says he can't spare the men to bring Esteban back home. And the fiends, they put all kinds of mines and traps around his... Mister, I'd about given up hope. But you've got to be careful. I don't want to... Esteban's body is laid out between some of the buildings, east of the Repcon headquarters. There's an NCR position just north of there. It's on the way. They should be able to tell you... Fiends. Cracked out junkies. All those chems make them a real bitch to take down.
Listen, asshole, I know you're not really an NCR health inspector, so you can cut the restaurant critique routine. And I want my 50 caps back. Because I looked it up, and there ain't no disease called colorectal implosion syndrome. So I paid you to look the other way for nothing. Wait, you're not... Oh, wow, I'm sorry. You look just like... Never mind, sorry. So what can I serve you up? That's nothing. You just look like the health inspector who stopped through for the yearly inspection a couple of weeks back. I was hoping I wouldn't have to wait another 11 months to see his crooked ass to get my caps back. Ah, well. Anything I can get you? Oh, yeah. Just kidding. Haven't you heard? With a few shipments from home and a little variety, you can own... Well, we haven't had any quality meat in months. Everyone in the camp just eating beans for protein. It isn't pretty. Some of my kitchen machinery is broken down too, so we've been eating mostly raw vegetables. And I'm desperate for spices or seasonings. Anything, just something for the general mood around here. It doesn't need to all come from the same source. There are a bunch of different vendors around who sell meat. Fit, we've never really tried to go out and organize deals with merchants to supply our food, already having... But we really need some good old red meat on the menu soon. So I'm willing to divert some... Here's the list. We've been scrapping together quick fixes to keep it running for months. I think it finally... It's the goofy machine behind the counter in the corner next to the stove. I'd be much obliged if you could take a look. I don't know. Try the various traders around the waste. Oh, I've heard of a place called House Tools you could check out. It's an old factory on the north. Just a word of warning, though. I hear no one who goes in there comes back out. The Crimson Caravan would probably be able to arrange a regular shipment, but I don't know of any spices known to... Hell, we have a whole research department. One guy's even set up in the main terminal building. They're the ones who ought to be looking into it. What?
Glad you're with us.
Barber's doing the best with what he's got. Man, could I go for a nice cut of profit.
Evening.
I pity anyone who crosses Boyd. That woman is relentless.
Boyd's in there with a prisoner right now. Boy, is she pissed. Boyd's in there with a prisoner right now. Boy, is she pissed.
You stick out like a sore thumb around here. Not big on reading name tags, huh? That's okay. My name is long and difficult to pronounce. It's Boyd. Lieutenant Boyd to my friends. Colonel Shu has me handling the policing duties for the base. I've told him he could make my job a whole lot easier if he would just let me shoot anyone who talks back to me. But you know how colonels can be. Yeah, so far this has gone exactly as expected. Poorly. But with the work you've done for NCR already, you might... We captured an honest-to-God centurion of Caesar's Legion recently. Better believe it. Everybody in Caesar's Legion, from Caesar on down, will kill themselves. They're so twitchy they'd probably do it if you reached out to hug them. But here's this guy, who's an elite commander in their army, and he just gives himself up, even as his men are slitting their own throats around him. Well, I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a man who's willing to cooperate. Except he hasn't. Only times he speaks up are to insult you. He's a real prick, by the way. And I'm supposed to get information out of this guy. Don't have anything like that. Sounds nice. Like the kind of thing I'd want to take. But even if we did, I don't know that I'd be comfortable using it. If there's any risk of overdose... I like the way you think. Problem is that the NCR frowns on using that sort of tactic. There's some restrictions still in place from President Tandy. But here's my favorite thing about you. You're not in the NCR. Plus, for all this guy knows, you're completely insane. That's a winning combination. I think if you rough him up enough and really put some fear into him, he'll sing like a So let's do this. When you're ready, I'll go in and give you a little intro. Then I leave the room and you make him regret the... We go back and forth a couple times until either he talks or he can't move his jaw anymore. Either way, we've... That's the spirit. Okay, I'll go in and have a word with him. Then I'll call you in. Long time no see, Silus.
Lieutenant. I was just thinking about you.
That's so.
I was just thinking about that pretty neck of yours.
How sweet.
I was thinking about how it would look with a Legion slave collar on it.
I'll pass.
Do you know what I love about our slave collars, Lieutenant?
If you love them, maybe you should try one on.
I love how tightly they fit. I train my men to make sure the slave's flesh bulges a bit around the top and bottom. Know why?
It's all the rage in fashion circles?
Not quite. If you fit it just right, their body never gets used to the feeling of wearing it. It cuts in just enough when they swallow or turn their head to remind them who they belong to. And it's that constant reminder that keeps them docile.
In that case, maybe you'd better save the collar you were gonna give me.
Oh? For whom?
For a friend of mine you're about to meet. My friend isn't very docile.
And who is this friend of yours?
You know all the rules the NCR instituted to protect enemy prisoners of war?
Of course.
My friend doesn't. Oh, and Silus, if you resist at all, I'll personally blow your brains out. Come on in, he's all yours. I'll be back in a bit to see how you're getting along. And I'll need you to surrender your weapons before you go in. You can pick them up from the locker on your way out.
What an ugly little worm you are. What pile of excrement did the lieutenant pluck you from, worm? You must have some reason to be in your line of work. Tell me, what did the Legion do to you? Did we enslave your children? Slaughter your family before your eyes to teach you a lesson? Whatever it was, I hope I was there to give the order. Foot soldiers of the Legion are trained not to have to think for themselves, to have conflict removed from their minds. They kill themselves to evade capture because they are not trusted to make such a decision rationally in the heat of battle. But I'm no foot soldier. I knew I could escape captivity on my own without revealing the tiniest iota of information to my captors. I'll show you gutless, you sniveling bastard. I'll spill your guts all over this room.
Over here!
Whoa, easy there. You're supposed to rough him up a little, not kill him.
You like
Why
that?
don't you step outside a minute? Let off some steam. Nice job.
You like that?
I think my friend doesn't like you, Silus. I don't know how much longer I can keep him under control.
You think this'll make me talk? Beating? This is the best you can do?
Not just any beating, Silus. A savage beating. A beating that you'll be reminded of every time you feel pain from now on. When my friend's done with you, you won't have any of your teeth left. You'll be drinking your food through a straw. Your ribs will never heal properly, and it will hurt every time you breathe. It'll be like your collars, Silus. Impossible to forget.
Go to hell.
Huh. Not the sort of wit I've come to expect from you, Silus.
You're getting nothing from me.
I'm getting entertainment. That's something. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna spill your guts to me? Or am I gonna let my friend the maniac back in here entrance one more time. For your safety as well as his.
You hit like a bedridden old woman. It'll take more than that.
Hey!
Come on! Had enough!
Watch out!
Come on! Had enough! Enough, this is pointless. I'm dead to the Legion either way, But you should know that Caesar has always kept his own counsel. He never reveals anything that would make him vulnerable. My knowledge will not prevent the inevitable. This camp will be ash within months. Maybe weeks. Something is wrong with Caesar. Something he is attempting to hide from his men. But it was obvious before we set out on this last mission. For 3 days we awaited his order to dispatch us. 3 days. But he hid in his tent, refusing to give orders, complaining of headaches. He looks different now than he used to. His face is sunken, sickly. But any question? There is one other thing that may interest you. I know that Caesar has planted a spy here. Every night, details of NCR troop movements are broadcast from a radio on this base to Caesar's camp. The spy has been here a long time. Since before the entire conflict began. He's an officer. If I knew who he was, I would tell you. If I escape and he's alive to report it, the Legion would hunt me down. But like I said, none of this information will change the outcome for you. No. Get away from me.
That was fun to watch. I'd have you do it again, but I'd probably get in trouble. This'll do the NCR a lot of good, so you should be proud. Here's the standard fee. Plus, I threw in the price of a good show on the Strip. That's for me personally. You can beat up my prisoners anytime.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Hey.
Whoa, 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 hold up. Christina hired you, huh? Well, if you're gonna go up there, there's a couple things you should know. Esteban's body's in the middle of those buildings up the hill there. But they... At least we... Oh my god, are you okay? You've got to get to a medic. Doc Kemp can... How could you sacrifice your body like that? You never even met him. If the NCR doesn't have a medal for this... There must be some kind of code of honor you hold yourself to. You're like a man possessed. We'll make sure Ranger Morales' body gets sent back home. You don't have to, you know, pick him up on your shoulder and haul him to California. Even though I believe you would if you had to. You should go tell Private Morales the news. I know she'll be relieved. Hello.
Hey.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
The NCR appreciates good citizens like you. I'm glad Ringo's back. Got a good story to tell, too.
Did you start looking for Esteban? They put him in a box? With a flag and all? You're too good for this rotten town. First kind thing anybody ever did for me in Esteban. You ever need anything, all you need to do is ask. Thank you so much.
You come around like a bad habit. They want to buy Cassidy caravans? Don't they know it's burned to ash? No. Even times being what they are. Not sure I'm looking to sell. Even for all the... Mojave happened. Hit by raiders packing some heavy firepower. So if you want to buy all of Cassidy caravans, you're looking at it. And what I got in my pockets. Still, as little as that is, not looking to sell. If someone came up to you and offered you 1,000 caps for you... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Point is, I made the caravan what it... Alice McLafferty, eh? No, I see the zeros. Still, it's not about the money. Dad'd spin like a twister if he ever heard I sold out. Look, I know you came all this way, and that takes some drive. Just doesn't feel right. Trading history... What did you just say to me? 'Cause you sure as hell got my attention now. That's fair. But there's been that voice inside me saying the same thing, and whiskey wasn't killing it. Give me that paper. I'll put my name to it. No sense trying to hold the past between your fingers when it's nothing but... All right. There you go. Caravan's yours. Feel kind of relieved. No idea. Maybe head back west? Though the idea of heading back there with my tail between my legs isn't appealing. You take care now.
Welcome back. Very good. On occasion, it's proven to be more profitable in the long run to simply buy out the competition. And this is one of those occasions. Most merchant companies, successful merchant companies rather, have them. The contracts keep employees around for a specific duration of time after... That's because we are. We always pay up when the contract ends, though. Food, water, living quarters, medicine, and clothes. Yes, and they have been for decades now.
Hey there. Won't be a problem. We have plenty of spice traders working with us back home, and we could get... The bigger issue is payment. To supply the camp with meat will cost some serious caps. Well, the Fargo traders have been trying to edge us out on the new armor contract for the troops. This could swing things in our favor. All right, let McCarran know they should expect the first shipment in a week or so.
Hey there, friend.
Evening. I haven't got any more bounties for you. It's been quiet and calm.
Hey, back. You managed to swing us a discount and cover the majority of the meat supply. I don't know. Try the Oh, I've heard of a place called House Tools you could check out. It's an old factory on the north. Just a word of warning, though. I hear no one who goes in there. The Crimson Caravan would probably be able to... Hell. If you need anything, just give me a holler.